It's been a while since I've done like it's been a long time we've done like a normal tipping episode, you know?
A normal tipping episode? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and as it's not a finals game, it's not like we're not fucking around. It is an episode of Just a Tip. So, welcome to round one of season 2023, Just the Tip, your NRL's official, unofficial NRL tipping podcast. I'm your host, Mike. Ben is only with us here in spirit tonight. Join me, as always, my favorite co-host, Matthew. Matthew, how you doing?
I'm doing great. And I thought you said, I think this is a normal tipping podcast because Ben's not here.
Oh, no. We should get like 1,000 views because our last video we did without him was the State of Origin special and he wasn't on it. And it's by far our most popular episode.
Yeah. What we should do is just in the title of this episode, just go round one and Origin tips.
Yeah.
We pick the Origin teams. I'll fucking get some views.
I had a funny idea for video titles is put in something like, can the West Tigers bounce back? And then not even bring up the West Tigers for the entire episode. Because like teams like Wests, they get more traction on videos. I've noticed. I was looking at shout out to Rugby League History. I was looking at like his videos just at like an analytical point of view, and his like Balmain videos and Magpie videos get so much more views than his other videos. So I thought that'd be a really funny train to jump on and just not bring it up. Maybe like episode like round 3 or something. We can do that and just not bring it up.
Yeah, we could do stuff like just the tip. In quotations, St. George Dragons racist question mark?
Yes, we'll do that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we'll get into the news this week. There was the Dragons again. Everybody is breaking out the jits mats. The Dragons have thrown them out at a shitty looking hotel. I couldn't tell you what it's called, but I looked it up. Room there, saw how much it was. It was not very much, and it looked like a piece of shit hotel. Do you remember who it was that was fighting? Because I did not note it down. It came out a couple of days after.
No, I don't know who it was.
Yeah, I think it was like Sully and Ravalawa. I would just expected you to know.
No, basically, and usually I would, but I know I've said this many times, but the Dragons are just the team that interests me the least. Like, when I look at them, I just see a white jersey with a white hood.
Yeah, I googled dragon fighting and I got Hakamo, the scaly Pokemon.
Oh, Hakamo'o, I think. What is it? Yeah.
Hakamo'o, yeah. Is that like a Ho-Oh but steel?
No, he's this is for all the Pokemon fans out there. He's a dragon fighting type, I believe. I think he's the first evolution, the second evolution, final evolution Como. Good mon.
Very close to the tab, I couldn't tell you. Yes. Slow week, Dragons fighting. It's weird that it got out. People are suggesting maybe it's Aaron Woods who let that news out, but who knows? But it's like it's one of those things when your team is down the bottom of the ladder, news seems to get out about it. Like we don't hear shit about Melbourne Storm players or Roosters players really. Latrell getting arrested a couple of weeks ago was probably like the closest the Rabbitohs have had to a scandal. This only happens to shit teams.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think it happens more often to shit teams. I do remember it was either last year or the year before. I remember when the Storm, Brandon Smith and Cameron Munson, they got nabbed with the Omo.
Yeah, that's right. They're washing their shirts.
Yeah, they're washing their shirts, and then
that's
I mean,
true.
like, I don't know if it necessarily counts as a Rabbitohs, but when Jairo was getting Zumba classes, that's another one.
Classic. That was before we did the show, right?
Yeah, I think that was. But yeah, they just they sweep. But I mean, it doesn't help that there was all this news about the Dragons being like they're going to be shit. The coach is under pressure, and then this happens.
Yeah, not good. Point 2, we got 3 points of news. Second point is Dom Young and Spencer Leniu seemingly signed with the Roosters for next year, who are totally within the salary cap, and there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that they are within the salary cap.
Yeah,
absolutely no way they're not exceeding that. What do you think that is? Why? Like, there's an obvious answer, but what do you think that is, Matt?
I honestly think it's they are planning to move on Daniel Tupou for Dominic Young, because I think Tupou, he's a 30. I think he's at least 30 now.
He's old as fuck, yeah.
And then they're moving on Jared Hargraves probably for Leniu. And it might be a situation if they don't immediately replace them, it might be a situation where they get paid less the first year and more the second year, and that's how they spread out the money over the couple of years when they sign. That's my thinking is that, and the Roosters are so good at that. Like, they sign players, but they're also like, because they're such a powerhouse club, they can just say to like Dominic Young and Spencer Leniu, even though they're getting more money from somewhere else, they're just like, come to the Roosters. You know you're going to be in a good team, and that's what like them and the Panthers and the Storm all do.
You can live in Bondi. It's close to the beach.
Oh,
get trained by a great club. Yeah, I mean, I would go to the Roosters if they were doing a tipping podcast. I'd sign with the Roosters for unders tomorrow. Really.
yeah. Actually, let me ask you this. Let's just say you were a first grade NRL player, and you debuted for the Titans, and you were like a starting player on the reg for the Titans, and then your contract was coming up, and then the Roosters came along, and they offered you the same contract, same amount of years, same amount of money. What do you do?
Yeah, it would depend on the teams around me, obviously. And I mean, I'm a fullback through and through, so I'm fullback in this circumstance. Teddy's getting old and they're pushing me out. You'd take the Roosters, right? I just said I'd move to the Roosters tipping podcast. I would take the Roosters, but it would depend on the team around me and like whether or not the Titans are building.
I understand what you're saying, but you're not a true fan.
No.
Through and through, baby. Through and through.
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna be fucking Luke Brooks, never play a single finals game in my life.
Yeah. Oh, good shit. The last one I've got here is Craig Bellamy soft launches his retirement. That's from this afternoon. Have you heard this?
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Check out Zero Tackle. I think we're leading the story with it. He said it in an interview, maybe with Nine or them. That it was sort of like off the cuff. It's not like an official announcement. I'm retiring. But like, yeah, I don't think I'll coach past this year, but I'll wait for the Storm to source my replacement before I actually retire. So if I was the Melbourne Storm management, I would just be fucking Sandra Bullock in that fucking movie right now. Just being like, can't find another fucking coach replacement.
What was that movie? Bird Box?
Bird Box, yeah.
I haven't seen it. But I do know that there's been talk about it for the last several seasons that he's thinking of maybe retiring, and he always signs a little extension. He must be getting tired.
He's old.
He's been coach of them for I don't know how long. It must be almost
like 20 years, man.
Yeah, it must be like 20 years now. So, he's done his job.
It's hard to go out like with a whimper, As we established last week, there's going to be a big purple skid mark down the ladder, and it's going to be really hard for him to retire for the really hard.
Yeah, there's going to be no skid mark. There's going to be a slightest little. And that's it.
It's going to be like after you flush the toilet and it's still like just a mark there. It's like a solid dark mark. It's like just like a lump almost of poo. It's just staying there. It's not going anywhere. It's not sliding. That's it for news. Did you have any news for this week?
Well, one thing I want to say, we need to address the lack of elephant in the room. Okay, so Ben's not here, right?
Mean. Yeah.
Ben's not here. And he's not here for work reasons. He's been working nights, can't make the podcast. He did pre-record his tips on a video and he sent them through to me. So I'll play them probably like after you and I go through our tips. I was hoping to get him to record each one individually and explain them so I could just insert them as if he was here. But instead he refused to do that. I asked him twice. He said he was busy. And then he just recorded himself on the phone with the wrong in portrait mode, which is no good.
Off screen.
No, it actually centered this time, so I guess that's one tick. I will play them after the tips. But we need to talk about after our last episode, Ben's protest. So anyone who's seen the last episode knows that we did our predictions for the year, and a month ago, 2 weeks before that, Ben requested a meeting Pre-season, not to be recorded with us three. He requested that meeting.
Which we agreed to. We thought that's a great idea. I was thinking something similar.
Yeah, we agreed to it. We showed up on time.
Yep.
So we came up with this idea to have a predictions episode, right? Ben loved it. He was coming up with ideas for the predictions. He was like, yep, sounds good. Let's do it. And we said, okay, cool. 2 weeks later, we're going to reveal our predictions. So we get to the preseason episode recording night, and already there was a red flag, because he was like, you boys ready to go through our round one tips? And
we're like, amiss. Yeah.
That's in 2 weeks. Now we're doing the predictions. And he's like, well, what? I thought, do you guys have time to prepare for this? And so not only was he not prepared, but he got high.
Yeah.
Cooked himself, made it up on the spot. And then during and immediately after, and in the days following, he was begging us to re-record that episode.
Yeah. Oh man, and he was blowing up supreme at us.
He was blowing up supreme
when we were just refusing to re-record it, because we have lives. We can't just do this like at the drop of a hat. And if we did it again, it would lose any of the magic that we had there. Not a lot of magic. I thought it was still one of the worst episodes. I did go back, but really bad, but still kind of funny. We got a good reception to it.
Yeah, it was definitely, I would say it was funny. It was not good. But I'm going to put, because we are a tipping channel that believes in honesty and transparency and standing up for the things you say you're going to do. I am going to share with the viewers our chat. Maybe about, I want to say a week ago, Ben gets in our chat and he sends a new set of his predictions for the year in the group chat and says,
which I didn't even fucking look at them. Hey, it's like, it doesn't even matter what this is, man. It doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Just glance through them. He's saying, these are overtaking my first ones, to which we replied, absolutely not.
No, not.
No.
Appreciate it.
What you put out there in the world is sacred. Okay. What followed was just like this hilarious conversation that, as you said, Mike, basically perfectly mimicked the 5 stages of grief.
I like screenshot the 5 stages of grief and sent it to him when he was like in acceptance.
Yeah, that was the part when he was really.
He might have been in bargaining.
Yeah, he was. Oh, he does a lot of bargaining, and then it's like straight to anger.
Yeah. Fuck, he's funny. Oh man, what are some of the highlights? Do you have your highlights there from it?
No, not off the top of my head, but like I've got them up on the screen right here. And also there was the video that he sent at the end, basically I guess it was his final words. This is his acceptance. So I'll play this now.
Boys, men, gentlemen, colleagues, friends. This is me making an appeal from the bottom of my heart, saying, go fuck yourselves. Accept the new predictions. Cunts.
And we're back.
And we're back.
My favorite part was how, like, I was on holidays, like I was entering Kingscliff. I'm having a great day. I've been by the pool. I'm watching shit on the TV. And I look at my phone and there's like 9 to 12 messages from you guys. I'm like, oh, what's this? And I go through it. I see what it is. And like the message before I get in there is like Ben being like, there needs to be, oh no, that's you. Ben being like, I fucked up. I know I fucked up, but please. And does like a little sad face emoji. And then you say no, there's got to be something sacred. And he's like, Mike, please, like I'm gonna fucking come to your rescue, dude. Like, have you met me?
No, I'm the good cop.
And that's when it went from bargaining to anger. It was so good. He's coming after me now. Oh my god. I love that cunt so much. He is a great foil for us.
He is a great foil, but man, he's a lot of work to deal with, especially in the chat. Regardless, the original predictions stand. Okay, so I know we're going to get to the end of the year, and Ben's going to be like, "No, that's not what I said." Come back to this episode and the one before. They're written down. They stand.
Yeah, we got it. It's in the ether. Like, it's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we get to some tipping?
Let's tip. Let's
get some tipping going. Man, this week, like, it's going to be a little bit boring, I think. Let's go to the first one. Eels versus Storm. Famously, the Storm haven't lost a round one game in forever.
Yeah,
like
since
Craig Bellamy's been coach. Oh my goodness! So 22 years. Oh my goodness! I had to look at my date and calendar down the bottom to do the quick math. 2001. That's huge. You'd be a fool to tip the Eels here. I was thinking a lot about it. I mean, obviously, a day is going to come when the Storm are lose on one game, and it could be the grand final losers to do it. I don't think it is, man. The Eels have lost Papali'i and Reid Marnie. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Who is number 9? Josh Hodgson? Yeah. No, I don't think it's going to be this year. Maybe next year or the year after. I think the Storm have this comfortably. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's right. They have not lost a round one game since 2001. I do think that there was some year in the early to mid 2000s where like their first game was round 2 and they lost that game, but that's not a round 1 game.
Yeah.
And also, you know, if there's any year the Storm might lose a round 1 game, it might be this year because there's been so many changes for the team. Like the entire forward pack has gone to the Dolphins. The Cheese is gone. Pappenhausen is injured. They do have that new winger. What's his name? Will Warbrook. He looks like an absolute fucker. He's a big old rampaging boy. But I think I'm with you. Like, the Eels, they got Josh Hodgson in from Marnie. Jermaine Hopgood at 13 is going to absolutely throb. Mark my words. He looked so good in the All-Stars game. But the Madison's missing. Sean Lane's got a broken jaw. Even though the Eels beat Melbourne twice last year, I think I'm not tipping against history. So I got the Storm winning by 2 points.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be close. I'm looking to win the tipping comp this year, FYI. I've said this to you privately, but I'm taking my focus away from fantasy. I think it's bullshit with the extra team and all the bye rounds. It's very confusing. I'm gonna just solely, like the Eye of Sauron, move to the tipping competition and be like, this is my year to win this. So I'm going to be playing a little bit like a Mitch, and I'm probably going to be doing a lot of boring tipping this year with a little bit of flair, which is going to be hard for me because I love to just tip with my shaft and not the head, as it were.
Yeah. Tip with your foreskin.
Yeah, I wrap it up and put it in like a little prawn parcel. Next game is going to be another fairly close one. Don't write down like a little prawn parcel. Next game is going to be Warriors Knights. Knights paying $2.31 here. There's value there. It is going to be a home game for the Warriors. I should have let you go first. You can go first on the next one. There is. What was I saying? Warriors home game. Knights again, like Eels, mostly a fresh team. Obviously KP's at 6, Jackson Hastings new, Lachlan Miller is new. The spine is almost completely new and hasn't played together. Even in the trials, they haven't properly played together. I think there could be value in the Knights here. But I'm tipping the Warriors here, and I'm not sure why. Can you help me out with that one? Why am I doing it? Why does my gut say it?
Honestly, I think I'm feeling the same feeling you're feeling in regards to this game. Looking at these two teams, it's really hard to tip who's going to win. They're both probably not going to make the top 8. I'd say more than likely. It's a home game for the Warriors, but the game's actually in Wellington at Sky Stadium. So in New Zealand, but not at Mount Smart Stadium. And, bit of a new look for both teams. Like Knights, they've got their new halves pairing, obviously Hastings and Ponga. I think that's got potential, but I don't know if it'll click this season between those two.
Yeah.
I do like Lachie Miller, the fullback. Excites me. I hope he gets an extended crack in that position. They don't panic and move Ponga back to 1 before he gets a good chance.
Yeah.
For the Warriors, pretty new look, actually. They got Nickel Klukstad, Tamari Martin in there, Mitch Barnett, Nia Corey, Jackson Ford, Williami, Dylan Walker, lots of changes for them.
Yeah.
Even though I looked at the last year's game and then the one they had in 2021, the Knights have won the last 2 against the Warriors. But for some reason, my gut's telling me New Zealand. So I'll go Warriors by 6 points.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, they just both teams have had so much changes, and I can't pick it between these two. No idea. Next one we've got over a blue bet, Panthers versus the Broncos. Tell me what you think.
Yeah. Well, the Panthers, they start their campaign for a 3rd straight premiership at home. Do I think they're going 3 straight? I don't. But they're still going to be good. Not. They're still going to be good. They lose Api Coruscant, so Mitch Kenny and Sonny Luke, they share the duties at hooker. Liam Martin has overcome his injury to line up on the edge, as well as Dylan Edwards. But Taylor May, he's out for the year with his ACL. So Sunia Turuva, I believe is how the name is pronounced. He starts on the wing.
Was a gun at the World Cup. Did you get a chance to watch him play? Was it for Samoa?
I think he played for Fiji. I think he played for Fiji.
Okay, yeah. I think you're almost certainly right. But yeah, he played fullback for Fiji during the World Cup, and wow, what a fucking gun! Yeah, it was in Fiji-New Zealand game, and Fiji took it right to the end. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
pretty sure that's the game I watched, and yeah, he was a fucking gun. So I'm excited to see him play. I'm not picking him up in my fantasy team, but he will be an absolute gun.
Yeah, I think he's going to be good, and if there's any team that it's good to play on the wing for, it's the Panthers. For the Broncos, Reece Walsh, he's not going to play this game. He has a facial fracture, most likely from David Fafita's fist, the pink monkey, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, unconfirmed, but yeah.
Unconfirmed, but confirmed. So
he played through 2 trials with a fractured face, just a save face. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Selwyn Cobbo plays fullback, the man who famously reckons that his coach is a weird/bad coach. Martin Tapau, he's off the bench after moving from Manly. There's a lot of talk that Haas and Carrigan are in for big seasons, and I'm going to back them on that. I think they will. I think in this particular game, the Broncos, I think they start strong. I think they come out enthusiastically, but the Panthers come home strong in the second half. They also want to avenge that preseason loss to St. Helens. So I think the Panthers eventually win by 12 points. What do you think?
Yeah. That's a good bet. I don't think the Broncos stand even a little bit of a chance here. Dylan Edwards is back. He missed the World Cup challenge, obviously. He's going to be thirsty to play, prove what he can do. I feel like they just didn't have their foot on the accelerator in the World Cup challenge. But this is the real thing. Penrith, they don't. Full of disrespect. So I feel like they disrespected their opponents. St. Helens, they got a kick in the dick, and now they're going to take it out. It's like the drunken man at the bar gets beat up by a bigger guy, and now he's coming back home to his wife, and his wife is wearing a Broncos jersey.
Ouch.
Look, it could have been any team. It literally could have been any team. I wish it was the Eels, but it's going to be the Broncos. And you famously hate the Broncos, so I'm excited for this game. Next one, we've got Manly Seagulls versus the Bulldogs. What to say about these two teams? I think everybody's going to be writing off the Sea Eagles last year just because of how they performed towards the back of last year. But I can't remember what I said a couple of weeks ago, but I feel like Seabold is actually going to take the Manly Seagulls to strange new places, and they're going to be successful for it. And I think they're going to beat the Bulldogs here and beat them well. To quote a better podcast than ours, Manly 13+, I feel like here.
Wow.
Cooper Johns looked really good in the trials, I feel. Even though Schuster is not there, he'll come back and probably do a better job than Cooper. But like it's largely like unchanged unless you can tell me otherwise. The forwards are a little bit different, I guess. Kelma Tuolagi wasn't there last. Was he? Who did he play for? Not the Tigers. That was the year before. Oh, okay, he played for the Tigers last year.
Tigers, yeah.
So largely unchanged, which is something you want to see in your teams. Whereas the Bulldogs have got a lot of young guns and new guys in their team. I feel like the Dogs are going to fire, but it's not going to be until like after round 10 when they're really gelled together. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page as you.
Damn, are we gonna fucking disagree on something?
I was just thinking that as you were saying that, I'm like, we're same tip so far. I will say this. So obviously Bulldogs, Luke Thompson, he's got injured by training today as of the recording of this podcast. So he's ruled out. And obviously, a lot of changes, although they've got, Reed Marnie and Kickow, Ryan Sutton, they're all in. Hayes Parham's the fullback, despite some rocky preseason games and that position. But yeah, there are a lot more changes in that team. Whereas Manly, yes, as you said, a little bit more settled. I know the shoe, he's missing the game with his minor injury. So Matty John's son Cooper plays 5'8", probably only for one game. Then they got the bye in round 2. But then they got Turbo. Tom Trbojevic is playing this game after going to.
How could I miss that? Yeah.
After going to the United States to sort out his hamstring problems. And I think it was on Freddie and the Eighth that I heard that there was like some expert in the States who basically had one look at him and figured out it was due to his like left ankle. It was like instability in his left ankle, and they had to teach him how to run differently, to change his running style. And it reminds me of what they did years ago with James Tedesco. James Tedesco suffered several ACLs early in his career when he was playing for the Tigers, and he was taught to change his running style. And then he went on to, win I think he's won a Dally M. I think he has, then several premierships. So Turbo might be in for a big year.
I was going to say, do you think we might be seeing one of the all-time years from Turbo if he's truly changed the way he's run and he's going to avoid injury and he's there for the entire time? When did he get the Dally M? He wasn't even there until round
it was
6?
2020, COVID year.
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared of the Seagulls this year. I wasn't scared last year, but I'm a little bit scared of them this year. I feel like they're going to be a really good team.
2021? Maybe in 2021. Sure. I can't remember.
Yeah, it might have been 2021.
It was the year when they first brought in the 6 again rule, and that's when Turbo was his bread and butter. But I will say for this one, the last 2 games between these two sides last year were both decided by 1 point. So for that reason, and also Manly are historically slow starters, I believe, for the last few seasons. So I'm going to go Seagulls, but by 1 point.
Okay.
Who kicks the field goal? I'm going to go with Cooper.
Cooper. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I thought you were going to pick DCE. That's the easy pick, but nah, Coopy. And his handsome little smile.
Yeah, I'll say they rush DCE, they throw it to Cooper, he kicks the field goal, keeps his spot over the shoe when he comes back.
Shoe goes back to the edge.
Shoe's back on the bench.
Okay, good. Fat fuck. All right, this one. And like I said, I feel like this is going to be a boring round. Like all these games are fairly straightforward. There's a couple of close ones. But let's go to another fairly straightforward one.
This is when you need Ben just to fucking spice things up in the tips.
Yeah, exactly. He'd tip the Raiders for this, and we'd ask why, and he'd give us the most nonsensical reason, and not explain it, and then change it after we tell him.
After we speak, he'll change. Yeah, that's right.
Well, obviously, this is the same Cowboys team as last year, more or less. And it's going to be in fucking. Not Darwin, Townsville. It might as well be Darwin.
I checked the weather. It's going to be Townsville. It's a 4:30 in the afternoon game. Although it's supposed to rain that day, so it's going to be raining. It's going to be humid, I think.
Yeah.
But if it's Saturday, not raining, right? it's going to be hot. Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah. And like if it was maybe the Titans, no, probably not the Titans. If it was the Broncos, maybe, it might be a little more closer. But I feel like you couldn't pick a worse team than the Raiders to go all the way up there. Canberra's barely had a summer. So yeah, Cowboys all the way. Do you have much more to say about this one?
Yeah, I will say that I'm happy to see James Tama return to the club where he won a premiership in 2015. So good for him. I hope he gets another shot at the Gold. Cohen Hess, he's on the edge, replacing Tom Gilbert. He actually started his career on the edge, I think. Cohen Hess, that's where he made his name. Raiders, Savage's recovering from his broken jaw, so Sebastian Chris is playing fullback. Harley Smith Shield. Right? Weird? I guess so.
What's maybe Chris's history at fullback like?
I have no idea. I've never seen him play there. Maybe in reserve grade? I don't know.
Bring it up.
Yeah, well, Harley Smith Shields, he's playing in the centers. I think he did his ACL last year, so keen to see how he goes. Another blow for the Raiders, Josh Papali'i is got a minor injury, so he won't play this game. I think the Raiders, I think they're going to be enthusiastic, kind of like how I feel about the Broncos. I think they're going to be enthusiastic, but I think the Cowboys will win by, I'll say, 10 points.
Yeah. Before I get to the amount of time Sebastian Chris has played fullback in his career, James, like you said, James Tamau, I really, really love that signing, and I'm so happy for him that he doesn't finish his career at the Tigers. This is like, he's not going to play every week. He's going to be like Benji for the Rabbitohs in 2021, not last year, but the year before.
Yeah.
He's just going to be sort of like a, what do you call it? Like a personality signing.
A mascot.
Like a mascot, someone that you can all rally behind, someone who's been there and done it, and just an all-around great bloke by all accounts. So I really love that signing. According to NRLFantasyStats.com, which I use for fantasy, and this is from 2019. Do you want to have a guess how many times Sebastian Chris has played fullback?
In total or just NRL?
In total. From 2019 to now. In the
I'm
NRL.
going to say in the NRL.
Yeah.
Okay. 1.
0.
Okay.
I'm not seeing a single game here with him. It's all center, winger, a couple of wingers, interchange, a couple of 18th mans. Yeah, nothing. Are you or New South Wales Cup?
I am going to check his New South Wales Cup stats.
Yeah.
Let's just bring him up here.
It's weird to put him there. I know Rapana said that he doesn't have the legs for it, like publicly said that. But still,
here we go.
Like, there's got to be someone else.
Okay,
right?
I'll flip it on you now. How many games at fullback has Sebastian Chris played in reserve grade, do you think?
From what year?
2018.
2018. Can I have 5?
It is 1.
Okay. Damn. How did you go?
Pretty shit from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah. Did you play the full 80?
No, he played 67 minutes.
Okay, fair enough. But like, there's got to be someone else, right? Like, how can you have 30 people in your NRL team and not have someone to replace Savage? Honestly.
Yeah,
can't Chotrick play fullback?
I don't know. And Rapana usually does, but I mean, they sent Chance and Klukstad to the Warriors, and then, I think it's going to be maybe a spot of bother for them.
Yeah,
I reckon if they really wanted him to, I reckon Jack White could probably play fullback.
Even that would make more sense to me. And then who do you put at 6 then?
Not sure.
Go back up. I don't even know. Don't they have that young man who played 7 for them last year?
Oh, yeah. What's his name?
It's not Zach Wolford, is it?
No, Schneider.
Schneider, yeah. What's Schneider doing? He was in the trials. I saw him. I love seeing my old fantasy failed cash cows playing in the trials. It's great.
Yeah. All right, so we're both on the Cowboys for this one. We're both 5 for 5.
How dare you try to get me back on track?
No one wants to hear us talk about the Raiders.
Yeah, we spend too much time on them. Next game, this is going to be a good one. I'm going to make a conscious effort to watch every game this round 1. There's not a game I'm going to try and miss. The partner is out for the weekend or most of Saturday, and I don't think we're going to run into each other on Sunday. So I think I've got to.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Like what a time. Oh, and I can't believe I just remembered this. Happy birthday.
What? Oh yeah. Thank you.
It's your birthday today.
Wish me a happy birthday in the comments. Everybody who wishes me a happy birthday gets a schwanky new Just the Tip hat.
Yeah. Also, we've got hats.
Yeah, we've got hats. I'm not selling them because I can't be fucked having like an ABN and stuff. Yeah. But if you want one, drop them in the comments. And we'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. I've got too many. I've got way too many than what I should have.
Oh yeah. We got our new logo. We got our hats. It's your birthday. I also, it's like how exciting for you. Your birthday is on the first team lists day of the year, and then the next weekend you're planning to watch every game. The ladies out of the house, like you're in for a treat. And we're going to get to it, but you and I have a very exciting Sunday coming up.
Yeah. I've also got the entire week off of work. So it is great. I've been at Kingscliff all the weekend. I'm living my best life right now. It's terrific.
Yeah. You look like you had a bit of a glow, a bit of suntan maybe.
Yeah, I'm a bit burnt on my nose. Yeah. While we're here on the hats, I mean they are kind of shitty. Like the embroidery is kind of shitty. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
I think that's just because the logo doesn't really lend itself to embroidery very well. And I feel like the next one, when we do another one, I think maybe just the scissors and the ball, maybe. And then have on the back maybe something that says like future body tech or something like that. Something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah, it'll be our next logo.
Rabbitohs v Sharks, man. I was on the Sharks until the news came through that Hines was not going to be playing. I was genuinely, this was going to be like a spicy one, but again, like it's going to be a boring round. I feel like the Rabbitohs more or less full strength, right? Trell,
pretty much.
Tass, yeah, full strength for the Rabbitohs, man. I think it's going to be a very close one. It should be a very good one. But yeah, I think the Rabbitohs pipped them here. What do you think?
Yeah, I was actually already on the Rabbitohs despite the Hines injury. And I'm going to tell you why. There's a little bit of superstition to this one. Okay. So obviously Nico Hines out. I think he's only missing one game with a calf strain. Replaced by Trindle, who's going to do a job. Apart from that, again, not many changes for the Sharks. I think Oregon Kaufusi is debuting off the bench after leaving the Eels. Right. But apart from that, there's not too many changes. Rabbitohs, very settled team. Tane Milder is suspended, so Isaac Thompson gets his chance to seal that wing spot. I have a feeling he's going to be good. I also think Latrell is in for a very big year. I think he might get near the top of the Dally M's, provided there are no suspensions, no severe injuries, which have always been his problem. Yeah. But here's why I thought, despite even Hines or no Hines, why the Rabbitohs would win this one. The weather's looking good. Okay, and we know that plays a part. Dry hair equals no points for the Sharks. But also, not only is this lunar year the year of the rabbit, the Chinese year of the rabbit, it's also, I didn't know this, but it's the year of the water rabbit. Each animal has a different element or subspecies. And so this particular year is the year of the water rabbit. And water rabbits, what rabbit is better suited to fighting a shark than a water rabbit?
That's a good point. So not only are the bunnies going to win, but they're going to absolutely destroy the Dolphins when it comes.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, the Shark's going to come up, and the Rabbit's going to use his little feet to kick it in the nose. Yeah. So I'm going to say the Bunnies win this by 4 points.
Yeah. I reckon more. Which one's our margin?
The Panthers game.
Panthers by 10. Is what I've got. Yeah. Bunnies. Yeah. Would you say 4? I reckon probably more. I think it's probably going to be more like 10 to 12. But yeah, Bunnies easily. All right, here we go. We're going to this one, baby. We're going to this first ever Dolphins home game. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. They're going to get destroyed, dude.
Yes, they will.
Fucking destroyed. Oh, I might buy that. It's going to be great. Holy shit. Can you squint and find any hope for the Dolphins here? Can you pull anything out? What have you got?
I think the only hope I can possibly find in this team, and as if I squint and I squint and I squint, and I know it can happen because I've seen it happen in the State of Origin arena. They called Queensland the worst ever side. Wayne Bennett was the coach, and then they beat New South Wales. Wayne Bennett's the coach of the Dolphins. They've had a horrible preseason.
They lost to the Titans by a lot.
And they got murdered by the Titans. Yeah. Not only they lose, they got murdered by them. I mean, talking of team changes, the entire team for the Dolphins is new. So, like, I'll just go through the main talking points. Obviously, Anthony Milford, he's dropped. Bad preseason. He's dropped for the rookie Isaiah Katoa from the Panthers, I believe he's where he's coming across from.
I feel bad for the kid a little bit. Like, why would you do this to the kid? Like,
throw him in the fire. Throw him in the fire. Yeah. I guess it's okay because, like, you know, the coach is probably telling him, like, dude, like, I know it's pressure because it's your first game, but it's no pressure because no one's expecting us to win anyways. So, like, just play with your heart in your sleeve. They've got half the Melbourne Storm forward pack from last year. Jeremy Marshall, King's the hooker. They got Jared Wallace, Mark Nichols, Tom Gilbert in the forwards, who are all solid players, and they're going to keep them in games. My only question is their 1 to 7, whether they click so they can score points, led by what's his name, Sean O'Sullivan.
Yeah.
Most importantly, how they defend, because their edges got, as I said, thrashed, thumped, humped by the Titans. For the Roosters, obviously the Cheese starts at 9, which I'm excited about. Keen to see him play a full season in his favorite position. Angus Crichton, he's out for personal reasons. So they've got the Butchers on the edges, Egan and Nat. And even though Joseph Manu and Rio Hargraves, they're out with injury, they shouldn't need them. As you said, we're going to be at this game. It should be super fun. I think it's probably going to be a sellout.
We should check that.
I can't see the Roosters losing. I can see Sam Walker on the edge, tearing the Dolphins apart, picking the right passes. That's what I'm seeing for this game. I think the Roosters will win by 18 points plus. However, if they win, the Roosters, by that much, it goes as expected. But if this game goes down to the wire, you better believe I will be screaming for the Dolphins to win.
Yeah, the whole stadium will be going for the Dolphins. And, like, nothing could be more Roosters than losing to Wayne Bennett's Dolphins, who, like, they just never see it coming. And, like, we've seen this happen in a State of Origin arena where nobody expected the team to win, and they fucking did it. Those fucking sons of bitches. I'm so mad about that still. Nothing would be more Roosters than that. It doesn't appear to be sold out. Let me have a look. There's still a few seats available. Yeah, I can get 10 adult tickets.
Okay.
Yeah, more or less anywhere I want. So that's a shame. I really would have loved it to be sold out. It's gonna be a fuckload of people there, I think. Should be a great game. I don't see the Dolphins winning this one. I'm not, like I said, I'm going to be boring tipping this year. I'm going for the trophy. So it's going to be the Roosters for me here, which leads us to our last game.
Game of the round.
Game of the round. Why Titans are playing so many Sunday games early in the draw. It's so annoying. Like, I want to watch them early. I want to get the Friday, Saturday ones. Like, I want the first game on Saturday. That's probably my favorite game. The day. But yeah, relegated to the final match. And man, this is going to be interesting because, like, the Titans played really well in the trials, and that was more or less the full team, at least the spine in the positions they're going to be playing in. Sans Kieran Foran, who we know is fine. He's a serviceable 5'8", so he's probably going to be fine. What I like about the Titans this year is I've been following Tanner Boyd and Karina Foran on Instagram. And let me tell you, Tanner Boyd and Kieran Foran have been hanging out a lot.
Really?
Kieran Foran doesn't have Instagram, but his wife Karina does. Imagine being named Kieran and your wife is Karina.
Karina.
Karina, yeah. Karina and Tanner Boyd's partner, who I believe is an AFLW player.
Okay.
They've been hanging out a lot. It looks like Tanner Boyd is just standing at the knee, kneeling next to Kieran Foran and learning.
Kieran Foran with his feathered wing is taking Boyd underneath his wing.
Yeah, he's suckling at his little bird teat, his little manly sea eagle teat.
I like that.
So that gives me a lot of hope. I think Toby Sexton is fucking far as fuck from this team. He's not even in the reserves, which I like to see. Sorry, Toby. T-Sex. He'll be great when he goes to another team, I'm sure, but it's not this one. So I'm hopeful. I mean, this is the only problem that I see here with this West Tigers team is Appy Coruscant. If he is truly steering the ship around, and this is his team, obviously he's the captain, but if this is truly his team, and Dwayne and Brooks can shut the fuck up and listen, I think the Tigers might get the Titans here. But first round of the year, I'm going to back my little Titan boys on this one. I can't not, and I do feel like they are a real chance. This could go back either way. How do you feel about this one?
Well, I think as far as, bias aside, I do think this is probably going to be the game of the round in terms of competitiveness.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a tight one. We'll start with the Tigers first, right? As you said, Appy's joined the team. Clemmer is also there. Isaiah Papali'i is there. They got a really nice looking forward pack now. John Bateman yet to join the team. I think he's just arrived in the country not too long ago. Mm-hmm. So he was probably a next week situation. So Sean Bloor is starting the edge for now. Your man, Charlie Staines, he's on the wing with Mamalo injured. So I think there's a lot of talk this year that the Tigers could make the top 8. And I think if there's any year they're going to do it, I mean, this team's good. I think they will. Obviously, last week I said they wouldn't. But, good team. And good players around Adam Dewey, who I think is a gun. So hopefully, hope they go well. For the Titans, as you said, Foran, Boyd, the new halves, Brimson's the fullback, Jaden Campbell's at 14, as expected. Foran, even though they were playing against the Dolphins last week or the week before, in the preseason game, Foran played very well, and so did Sam Verrills. He was really good against the Dolphins. What's his name? Alofiana Khan Pereira gets the wing spot after scoring 6 tries in 2 preseason games.
Deserves it, man. Like shit.
Yep.
Well done.
I do feel I don't want to say this for sure, but there's a bit of Charlie Staines about Khan Pereira in my eyes, and the fact that he's just really fast, but not necessarily the best runner of the football to get meters. So I hope he goes well. I'm looking at this team, by the way. I can see Aaron Clark. He's been named on the bench. I see him coming on after 25 minutes, replacing Leniu, and just playing the rest of the game at 13. That's what I think that's going to happen. And I think Dave Fafita is in for a big year. I think this is the year he repays the faith. I think he goes big this year. I think he plays 80 minutes as much as he can. Year. Okay, now back to, so what do I think is going to happen? Okay, it's a new year. It's a new dawn. It's a new hope. Anything is possible. Do I think the Titans can win this game? Yes, I do. Will I tip them? Titans by 1.
It's by 1 point. Yes.
Tanner Boyd field goal.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, do it again, dude. Back to back. Do it again.
That's what I want. So
I love Tanner Boyd. He's my crush.
We agree on all of our tips.
That's so boring. What a boring show.
So boring. Actually, speaking of, I tell you what, now I'll insert the video of Ben's tips. He recorded it in his car at work on a not undisclosed location. Not allowed to say. So here it is.
Sydney.
What's going on, breadsticks? Here we go. Eels Storm. Eels. Warriors Knights. Warriors. Panthers Broncos. Panthers. Fucking Sea Eagles Dragons. Sea Eagles. Cows Raiders. Cows. Dolphins Chooks. Fuck the Dolphins. Go the Chookies. Chooks. Tigers Titans. Battle of the Losers. Tigers. That's my tips. Get fucked.
I haven't seen it, but I imagine it's just like like not frantically, but just like sort of like every now and then he'll just move it.
It's funny because we're back
too close.
We're back now, but it was actually probably the most professional scripted video he could do. Like I think maybe that's the way we should have him record the tips all time.
he still feels a little bit of guilt from our last episode, and just wants to be really professional this time and show that he can change. He's changed, guys.
Yeah.
So count my new tip, my new top 8 from this year, because I've changed.
We're not going to count it. Good recording. As I said, Ben, next time landscape that'd be better. But you know, so there are our tips. Do you want to get to some something that you and I have been meaning to talk about for a while?
I don't know what it is, but yeah.
The Netflix reality show Perfect Match.
I think I was just watching that before we came on. Actually, the final 4 episodes have dropped this afternoon.
Don't tell me! Don't tell me! I need to catch up.
I think maybe save that for when Ben's here and we can just ambush him with it, because I love ambushing that cunt with shit. We'll watch. I'm sorry. Cross it out.
That's okay. I'll cross it out. All I'll say is, and I'll expand on next time, but Francesca is a delusional psychopath.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Someone knows it's a TV show, and I think it might be her. You know.
Yeah.
She's just It's a weird game. We'll get into it.
She's something else. Wait. Speaking of Netflix shows, though, have you seen Physical 100?
Yes, I've watched the first couple of episodes, and terrific.
How fucking good is it?
I was talking with Harry the other day, and you know how they like replay shit to emphasize. Like when someone will fall, they'll replay the fall like 3 times to really emphasize that point. Yeah, that's a Korean thing. They do that on another Korean dating show called Singles Inferno, where they all sort of go live on an island. I'd recommend that, but only in the sense that it's kind of interesting what like their culture is like. That it's not like
dating
Perfect
culture.
Match, even close. It's like very polite and very respectful, even when they're alone together. What do we got here? All right, so we're both on the Storm. Wait, do you know what Ben's tipped? Do you know?
I can't remember. He sent that video to me a few days ago, and I'm going to put it in the edit afterwards. So
okay, all right.
Yeah.
We're both on the Storm. We're both on the Warriors. We're both on the Panthers. We're both on the Eels. We're both on the Cowboys. Both on the Bucks. Both on the Roosters, and we are both on the Titans. Tanner Boys Titans. Yeah, terrific. What a boring show. I should have saved that for last. I fucked it up. I've not got my original piece of paper here from last season with my run sheet. I've done a new one because I've got a textbook now. And nice. I fucked it up. I miswrote what we were doing. I wanted to get to comments. I fucked it last time as well.
Oh, yeah, let's do some comments.
Let's go. In chronological order, let's go with G Stern, who I in fact I've already posted 2 of these hats to him already today.
He'll wear the shit out of that.
I had the funniest conversation when I texted him. I was like, yo, what's your address? And predicting that he was gonna be like, why are you asking for my address? Like his son would. I was like, because I've got like just the tip merch I want to send to you. And he calls me immediately and he's just like, hello, is this Michael? And I'm like, it is. All the while it's my birthday. He knows it's my birthday.
Oh, it's your birthday.
Like, yeah, it's me, man. Sorry. Yeah. It's me. Yeah, I just got some hats, man. And I just want to send them to you. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Because I've recently got my card scammed with like sex things. Like I've got sex products. Like they just put through a little bit of money every time.
Really?
And I was like,
sure, Jeff.
Yeah. I can't remember what I said to him, but I was thinking in my head, like, he is his son.
It's true. That's true. The apple does not fall far from the tree.
So he says he's optimistic that future shows will improve because you set the benchmark really low. Yep, that's true. We did. We set it really low. I didn't set it low. Matthew didn't.
Listen, I think that we think that is our rock bottom, but I think we can go through the floor.
Oh yeah, Let's go. Let's start hammering at that floor. I didn't think it was that bad. Like when we recorded it and when it was done, I was like, that was so bad. But in the days afterwards, I was just like, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, there was a certain attractiveness to the unhinged nature of it.
When he changed his tips, and you just sort of like did the shake on the ladder and changed it. Love that.
Yeah, thank you.
Jeffrey says, for what it's worth, he's got Penrith at number 1. I assume that means they win the grand final, 3-peat. He's got Souths 2, Cronulla, spelled Cronulla wrong. Brisbane at 4, North Queensland, Melbourne, Easts, Parramatta. These fucking Roosters fans, dude, they have no faith in their own club.
No faith.
They're such Roosters fans. All right, rugby league history. He's back. And this comment, rugby league history writes, just the tip is back for another year of laughs and fun. That comment reeks of didn't watch the episode.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
He didn't even watch it. He's just there to just support us. And I appreciate that, rugby league history. You're the best, even though you're not listening. And then history of football, which I had a brief look at. I think it's a soccer channel, which it's like a soccer channel. Go Wrexham. But history of football says just the tip is back for another year of jokes, laugh, and mischief. Yeah. He's just that's just history of rugby league just supporting us.
That's correct. He's got 2 channels. He's really into rugby league, NRL, and Super League, and he's obviously into EPL, English football as well. So, but yes, I will say this: next time you double comment in the video, mix it up a bit. Those 2 comments are too similar.
Yeah. Maybe don't let the bot do it next time. Maybe, get an intern. Maybe.
Yeah, get an intern from the Philippines.
Yeah. I was, as a side note, I was scrolling through Facebook the other day, and one of my dad's old friends had commented on like an old rugby league photo. It was like a team photo. And I realized the Facebook group was rugby league history, and I looked at it, and the cunt's got like fucking 65,000 followers on that thing. Like that's probably his job. So he has got time to message our fucking thing. Here it is, rugby league history. I think it's the same. 27K. Sorry, I misspoke. 27K, but that's a lot. A lot of engagement on that thing. You got anything else for us, man?
No, I don't. Just want to wish everyone a very merry round 1. My God, it's this particular preseason. I think has felt quite long for me personally.
It's been a long one, yeah.
Compared to other years. Yeah, I'm really keen to just have footy on 4 days a week again. It's just so nice. It's like a warm hug.
Rugby league is back. I love it. I like the part of the rugby league season at the start when it's still daylight savings time in New South Wales, and I get home from work and the footy's on at like 5:30, and I'm just like, fuck yeah.
100%.
Just as like, what do you want for dinner? I'm like, fucking 8 beers. Psh.
Yeah.
Rugby's on.
Yeah, what if we did it? Not my problem.
Well, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for the round 1 tipping. I hope we helped with your tipping comp. Join our tipping comp if you've got the time and the money. Code's in the description below. Thank you. Thank you, Matt. What a great episode. What a hinged episode we had.
Too hinged. I think next week, let's try and get Ben back on and let's try to take this shit off the rails.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to try and just poke him a little bit, see if I can't upset him.
Yeah. All right. Take us away, Mike. Did you say our motto? I can't remember. Tip with your head, not over it?
Tip with your head, not over it. A good friend of the show suggested that I say something along the lines of tip with your head, not with your shaft, should be the new one. But remember, tip with your head, not over it. Tip long, tip hard, and tip into the future. I think tip like you've never tipped before, I feel. But not this week because it's pretty straightforward this week. Maybe next week. But we'll get to that. Thank you.
Goodbye.
And all that jazz.